guys, John McClellan here, ATX Hot Sauce. That's atxhotsauce.com with one of our little short, quick tips on fermentation, where we're going over just some of the different steps, kind of just breaking it down in a quick little video for you. Today we're going to be talking about pH and the pH meter, and why it's important that you're measuring the acidity of your sauces before you bottle them. Number one, you want to have your bottle shelf stable, right? So they say anything below 4.6 is shelf stable. We like to keep ours down into the threes, mid threes to lower threes. We bottled some sauces last night. In fact, I think it was this blue habanero one right here, and it was a 3.1 on the pH of the actual sauce. So very, very shelf stable. Real high acidity on that. It keeps all the bad bugs out. So it's very important. Now, it's also important that you know how to use a pH meter and how to calibrate it. And there's a lot of different camps out there. Some people say you can just use the strips. They're just as easy because they give you a little bit of a range. I don't agree. When you're making hot sauce, there's a problem you run into when you're using the strips. That's why I like to use my pH meter. Couple of things with the pH meter. Make sure that there's a sensor down at the bottom under here, and you can see I have some liquid in here. Always leave it, you don't want that moist, and always store it standing up. And if you can, get the storage solution to put in there, right? So we put this storage solution in here, and we always have it standing up just like this. So let me show you a couple things. Now, with the instructions that you typically get with a good pH meter, it's going to show you how to calibrate it, right? But how do you know if it actually needs calibration, if you need to fix it, if it's off a little bit? Well, one of the easiest ways to do, when you get a calibration little kit, it's going to come with some different liquids in it. This is pH 4.0, right? This is pH 7, which is neutral, by the way. pH goes to 14. And this is pH 10, all right? So how do you see how do you know if your pH meter needs adjustment? Well, it's actually pretty easy. So let's try this 4 one out here real quick, right? So we're just going to put some of this in here, all right? Going to take the thing off here. We don't want to get rid of that. Rinse it off just a little bit, turn it on, and then we're about to see if mine is calibrated, right? All right, and there's going to be a little thing here. There's a little beeping thing here. You might not be able to see it. We're going to put that down in there, and we want it about 4. Listen, if so, let's see, it's still going there. Okay, there's a little flashing light. There it goes. Still going. You got to wait for this little flashing light to go off. There we go. Look at that, 4.0. So, do you think this needs to be calibrated? I would say no. Now, that's great, right? So if it's off though by a lot, let's say it was 4.1 or 4.2, I think you can probably get away with that. But if it's off by, say it said 5 or something like that, you know that's off. You know you got to get it calibrated. And you know the best thing to do, especially with this one here, this is the Oak10 Eco Tester. It has all the instructions how to calibrate that. We're not going to go off do that today because it's a lot longer process. But one of the things I do want to show you is the difference between using strips and using this when you're dealing with hot sauce. So let me wash this off real quick. All right, now I've poured some of our hot sauce in here. This is the Honeybee Hot. It's basically honey, garlic, habaneros, a little bit of vinegar, one of our favorite sauces. A little bit spicy, but check it out on our website at atxhotsauce.com. So we're going to try to use this strip, this pH strip, to determine what the pH is. Do you notice the color of the sauce here? So I'm going to put this pH strip in here, right? And then we're going to hold it up to the color that we think it is. Hope you can see that. Well, it looks like it's about a 5 on the pH, right? That doesn't quite sound right. So let's take our pH meter that we just checked out. It's calibrated perfectly, right? And let's see what this actually says. And then let's discuss why that read it as a 5 instead of something else. So we got it turned on. Let's get it in here. Wait for that little light to stop blinking. So right now I've got a pH reading of about 3.8. 3.8. Now you're asking yourself, why did this say 3.8, but the strip that I use, if I can even get it off the ground anymore, there we go, it says it's about a 5. And remember, this is calibrated. We just looked at it. It's working perfectly fine. This one says 3.8. This one says 5. Well, if you notice the color of this hot sauce, right? These pH strips work best on clear liquids, things like that, or ones that aren't very thick. So these actually become useless when you're dealing with hot sauce, especially colored hot sauces. This gets its color from habaneros. You have other ones that get maybe red Fresnos or other kinds of red peppers, and you're going to get a different reading on that. That's why it's important you actually have an electronic pH meter to make sure your pH is where it should be when you're bottling. It is so important that you have that low pH for bottling. It's going to be shelf stable, and you're not going to hurt your friends, your family, or any of your customers. Hey guys, thanks for checking out these quick tips. If you want to see more, check out our playlist below. Make sure you subscribe. See you next time.